All right, so one of your core messages is mission first, people always, which is lovely. For business owners and leaders listening who may be focused primarily on profit maximization, how do you balance the financial imperatives of running a business with investing in people and purpose?
That's a great question, Chris. So the mission has to come first because you have to know why this company exists. Like, what is the impact you're trying to have? What is the problem that you solve? Because then you organize the company, the culture around accomplishing that mission. And a very simple example would be if you're at a creative arts graphic design firm and you're at a microchip engineering firm, those are going to be different cultures. Like the optimal culture at each one of those places is going to be very different. So you have to know like what the purpose of the organization is, the mission. The mission comes first. That's how I make decisions. But we have to look at how do we do that and do it in a way that develops our people? How do we do that in a way that lifts our people up? Like a dual purpose, right? A dual purpose of this organization. Because it is I like to, sometimes I'm going to run this to like an extreme. I think if you take a philosophy or an idea and you run it to like its extreme version, then you start to see where some of the initial cracks were in it. Okay. So if you said it's just profit, not people, I don't care, and that's all that matters, basically run a drug cartel, right? Like you could run something that destroys humanity, destroys the environment, but you make a bunch of money. And is that what you want to create? Like, is that your legacy you want to create? Is that who you are as a human being? And so that's an extreme version. So when you pull that back a bit, it's like, well, that's not who I want to be. Okay. What do you want to do? Well, I want to be a place that, and in those values, in that culture, we impact the world in this way. We solve this problem and we make the lives of everyone we touch better. And how can we do that? And how can we, and what I found in organizations that do this well, these organizations are more resilient and ultimately more sustainable. Because if you are running an organization that just burns through people and doesn't take into account, especially these days, right? Like everyone, there's Glassdoor, there's all these, like people know if you have a crappy place to work at and how you treat your people. And then you have the inherent costs that come, right? You maybe squeak out a little more earnings in this quarter, but you chase out, or you have to get rid of a bunch of people in your company because they're being treated bad or not well compensated or not supported in a certain way. And now when the next turn comes, you got to go find more people, right? And that's costly. And so when you have a sustained company that has the mission in mind, but is always taking care of like, how do we lift up and build capacity in our people? Over time, that company, when you have a company that is moving forward and has a mission and is also taking care of its people, not burning them out, not running them out and then having to rehire or train or bring in outside people, like that is all costly. So it all feeds to the bottom line. It's expensive. It's unknown. I mean, this is kind of an extreme example, but again, I think that it works. Like look at the companies or even the towns during COVID that said, well, we're scared, mission, whatever. And we're going to like, we're kicking everybody out, or we're getting rid of our workforce and we're shrinking down. And then as soon as they had to rebound, they were way behind. There were some companies that said, hey, guess what we're all going to do? We're all going to take a 20% pay cut, executives included. And we're going to keep everybody. We're going to remember that. And then as soon as the conditions changed, they were on it and they took over. So a resilient company is a company that its people want to be there, right? Like the engagement level, because a body in a seat is not the same as a person who is passionate about mission, and you will never get more than just enough. If someone is just there to, as a transactional thing, I show up, I do this thing, you give me money, you will only get in proportion to what they have to do in order to keep that job. But when someone really buys in to the team, to the organization, to the mission, you get the best of people.
And it's so true. I have 2 staff that work for me that used to be clients first. So they already knew what the culture was like. So when they came to work here, they got it. And sometimes we fight like cats and dogs. It doesn't matter. We know what the mission is, and we stay on mission. Yeah. Good stuff.